Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be doing an album review. I'm going to be taking a look at this record today, which is Hard Promises by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. So yes, I'll just be doing the usual thing in this video, giving a bit of background information about the album, showing you my vinyl copy of it here, and then looking at each of the album's tracks in detail. So yeah, this was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' fourth studio album, released on the 5th of May in 1981. So by this point, Petty really had kind of made it as like a major name, like in like the American music scene, like off like the time. Like the last album, like Damn the Torpedoes, was a major hit, spawning like a good handful of hit singles: Refugee, Here Goes My Girl, and Don't Do Me Like That. So this album very much continued in the same kind of sort of template as that album. Returning was producer Jimmy Iovine, and it was recorded at the same studios, LA Sound City, and was even engineered by the same guy, Shelley Yakus as well. Now this album is also notable for being the last album to feature the original Heartbreakers lineup, with bassist Ron Blair leaving. I think it was due primarily to sort of drug addiction issues, but he'd become a little bit unreliable around this time, not always being available for sessions or live shows. So even on one track on this album, he was substituted with a session musician, a guy called Duck Dunn, plays bass on one of the tracks on here. Although it was perfectly amicable in terms of Ron leaving, he would continue to see Tom and the Heartbreakers play live, and actually in a bit of a full circle moment rejoined the group in 2002. Now the other notable thing with this album is the fact that it pitted Petty against his label MCA for a second time. With Damn the Torpedoes, it was the fact that his contract was being sort of transferred over without his consent, which he I think he won that lawsuit. And there was another potential lawsuit with this album because MCA wanted to charge an extra $1 for it, in the record stores. So way back 1981, most records were priced at £8 and $8.98 in America. But given Petty's superstar status at the time, and following the big hit album Damn the Torpedoes, MCA were considering charging $9.98 for this album, which really enraged Petty. He didn't feel that his fans should be getting ripped off just because his last album was successful. So strongly objected. I think he threatened to either withhold the album or slightly jokingly rename the album $8.98. However, in this case, the record label did eventually back down, and the album was released at the standard price. In terms of commercial success, this album was a little bit a mixed sort of story. In some ways, I think on the one hand, it was another successful album for Petty. It went platinum in the US and reached number 5 on the Billboard charts, and in the UK it put in a modest performance, number 32 it got to here. I mean, and none of the singles really did anything in the UK. But the reason why I say slightly mixed is because this certainly wasn't as big a seller or as impactful as the Damn the Torpedoes album, and there was also thought that a collaboration that Petty did with Stevie Nicks around this time, a song Stop Dragging My Heart Around, which was a massive US hit. I think that got to sort of number 2 or number 3 on the charts. Mike Campbell said killed this album stone dead, because all the radio is just playing Stop Dragging My Heart Around as the token Tom Petty song. So neither of the singles from this album particularly got too much of a hearing. So anyway, I will just now show you my vinyl copy of it here. So this is a US copy of the album, which I found many years ago, like in like an Edinburgh record store, which I'm very glad that this is the copy I bought, because like at the time like I bought it, I just thought, well, this is the cover. But like actually, like in like the UK, for some very odd reason, came out with a very different cover, a much inferior cover for me. It's just a kind of, it's all white and it's just got a kind of box, like, and a picture like of like Petty like in it. It just doesn't really do anything for me like as a cover. It maybe works like a single sleeve, like a 7-inch single sleeve, but for an album cover, it's just rubbish. But this is a really cool image, I think, of Petty like in like what looks like a record shop there. Really nice cover. Back cover there, just sort of nice shots like of like the band like in the studio and the track list in there and just what they all play, which is very nice. And then there's a few things with this. So this comes with a nice insert, which again I'm not sure if this was included with the original UK ones, but yeah, insert there, folds out, you get a nice picture of Tom and the band there showing them one of his songs, and then on the back you get all of the lyrics there. But then you also then get like an inner sleeve as well, which has got some great photos on it as well as just Tom and the band looking like they're about to go on stage there. And then you then get another collage of pictures. And the record label as well is really nice. It continues the kind of theme like off like the album cover there, just with a sort of slightly blurred image like off like the record store there. So overall, I think the packaging on this like is really nice. Like I said, like particularly this like American version of the album. And one other thing that I did forget to mention there was on like these early US and Canadian pressings of the album, on the run out groove, there is etched into it, "We Love You, JL," like JL, like John Lennon, like because like apparently like when like they were sort of like recording like this album in like early in late 1980, like John Lennon was supposed to be working like in like the same studio, like however of course like on like the 8th like of December like he was tragically killed. So like this meeting that Petty must have been so excited for, meeting like one of like his heroes, like just like never happened. So I'm trying to find where it is to see like if I can kind of show you, but I'm struggling to see it like in like this light. But yeah, definitely like was on like all of like those early pressings of the album. Okay, so I'll now go over each of the album's tracks in detail. So I'll score each song out of 10 and then use those scores to give us a overall percentage marking for the album. So the album kicks off with the song The Waiting, which is definitely the most well-known track from the album. It's the only one like on here that made it onto Tom Petty's Greatest Hits album, and it is just a brilliant track like to kick off like the album. A great opener with its chiming kind of 12-string Rickenbacker sort of guitars on it, very birdsy kind of sound to it, and just a great lyric as well. I mean, like it's a great way to start off the album, like with like the lines like, "Baby, don't it feel like heaven right now? Don't it feel like something from a dream?" Just a great way, to kick off like the album. And yeah, it's just a fantastic song. Should have been a much bigger hit actually. Like it reached number 19 like in like America. And it's just an expertly put together, produced, well-sung song. So yeah, like The Waiting, absolutely fantastic track, and easy 10 out of 10 from me. Okay, next up on the album is A Woman in Love, which I actually somehow have the 7-inch single for it here. So yeah, like there's like the front cover, back cover there, and this is just on, I would assume, MCA records there. So second track on the album is a really interesting song. It's a very dynamic track, this, with kind of clear contrasts between the kind of quieter, almost kind of croony kind of verses, and then the kind of chorus, which just sort of like explodes in. There's some great drumming on here, like from Stan Lynch. He does some great fills to sort of like catapult you into like those choruses. And lyrically, it's a really good song as well. A kind of classic kind of I guess kind of jealousy kind of like love song sort of thing, like seeing like your ex leave you for someone else, but kind of like almost like almost like a kind of like a warning song, like he's gonna break her heart to pieces. She don't want to know, she's a woman in love, but it's not me. So yeah, like I said, like I'm surprised like that I actually have like this 7-inch single, because this was a bit of a flop single. Like even in like their native like America, it only got to number 79 like as a single. So like yeah, like I think like this is one that definitely suffered because of like Stop Dragging My Heart Around like coming out like around like the same time. But fantastic song though. Also worth a wee note is the B-side on here, a track called Gator on the Lawn, that isn't on the album, which is a really fun little kind of 50s kind of Elvis sort of rockabilly song. It's a really good like little number, that Gator on the Lawn there. Maybe not quite strong enough like for the album, but a bit of a hidden gem there like on the B-side. Okay, next up now, third track in is Night Watchman. Now this one is a really good kind of mid-tempo track with a kind of, so it starts off with a kind of very sort of scratchy but also quite precise guitar riff that kind of runs through like the verses. Reminds me a bit of Elvis Costello's song I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea. It's got that similar kind of propulsive kind of feel to it, and then a kind of more sort of suspended kind of chords like going on like in like the chorus. Lyrically, Petty has said that this is a song that was written about his security guards. Like apparently like like he was like such as his popularity around this time like he actually like had like his own like security like at like his house. So he kind of writes this song like inhabiting like that kind of character. He sings like, I sit around at night and listen to the radio. If I get really bored, I might have a little smoke. And there's another great line like as well, like my life's worth more than the minimum wage as well. So yeah, it's a really fun song, this one here. This one is a co-write with Mike Campbell, who again I think was like mostly contributed like that excellent riff that kind of like runs through it. So yeah, Night Watchman, a good song here. Fourth track on the album is Something Big here. So this one is I think kind of sonically anyway quite an adventurous song. Just the kind of whole vibe, like an atmosphere like off like the track. It's got some kind of interesting percussion work going on, like I think like the bongos or something. I'm not sure if that was Stan who played those. It's got like a really good like atmosphere like this song. It feels very much like you're in a kind of like a western sort of feel. This is also I guess kind of like sort of like the start like of like kind of Petty's kind of storytelling like song. So this one's kind of got like characters like in it. It feels a bit kind of like a shady set like of characters sort of possibly I kind of feel like it's maybe about like sort of like county lines, like sort of like alcohol trading like sort of thing perhaps. Like, I mean like the song like isn't like too like specific. It's more just a kind of collection like of like images and sort of like vignettes like of like these characters and that, so you don't quite know exactly what's going on, and then it just kind of then like keeps coming around to like that chorus, like there wasn't no way to carry on, it wasn't no way to live, they could put up with it for a little while, he was working on something big. Very kind of catchy chorus, quite Dylan-esque this song, like in like the way it's kind of sung and kind of put together like kind of thing. So yeah, no, another really good song there, Something Big. Next up on the album, which closes off side one, is King's Road. Now this one, I think going into this review, I probably would have had down as a slightly generic kind of rocker. Feels like it could have perhaps fitted very easily on like Damn the Torpedoes. But lyrically, like when I was researching for this video, I actually found out that this was written about King's Road in Chelsea, like in London. I just assumed it was like either like a generic road like in like America, or just kind of like made up. But apparently like as like Tom Petty I guess found his first success like in like the UK like back in 1976. I guess it's always been somewhere where he's had some degree like of like affection for. So this song is like apparently about it's like apparently written about that. The lyrics on it kind of feel like it's about someone who's been placed in like an unfamiliar setting and they're just I guess not quite knowing what to make of it. He sings like, I didn't know which way to go, I'm a new world boy on the old King's Road. Reminds me a bit lyrically of the Jam song Strange Town. It's got a similar kind of theme like going on like to like the lyrics like on it. So I think it's a good song like King's Road. It's a 7 out of 10 song for me. I'm having trouble letting you go. Okay, we flip over the album onto side 2, and it opens up with a song called Letting You Go, which is one of my absolute favourites on the album. I think this is such an underrated song, and it feels like it's such a progression as well, like from like Damn the Torpedoes, a lot more softer, more reflective. But it's also got a kind of, kind of 60s sort of, like late 50s, like early 60s kind of pop feel to it, kind of almost like a kind of girl group, like kind of, like song, like going on, like with the kind of like the sort of like lights or like the backing vocals, and just the way he kind of sings, like the track is like really kind of quite delicate. And then you've got some great organ work like on it as well, like from Ben Montench, just really elevates and like adds to like the track. And again, some great lyrics, just sort of about, like again, like the end, like of like a relationship, I guess, finding it difficult to move on. He sings like, there's no one as honest as those in pain. It's a restless world, uncertain times. You said hope was getting hard to find. And then like some other lines about like, like, do you get scared? Like scared, like when you close your eyes. So it's quite a dark song lyrically, but musically it's very light on its feet, very airy song. So yeah, no, I really love like Letting You Go. I'm not sure like if this was a single, but it's certainly got a music video, so they maybe considered putting this out like as a single, like if it wasn't one, like, which I don't think it was one, but it's a really, really good song there. Letting You Go would get a 10 out of 10 from me. Another 10 out of 10 song follows it for me, which is Thing About You, which I guess this one is maybe like an unpopular opinion, because I think maybe a lot of people think of this just as it's just like album filler, but I really love Thing About You. It's guess some might say lyrically like it's a bit like of like a slight song. It's just a kind of general kind of lusty kind of song, like I've got a thing about you, you've got some strange control over me, oh, it's so wild, it hypnotizes me, like he sings like on it, but just musically it's just such a great kind of power pop like arrangement on it, a very infectious chorus, really well written, a dynamite like band performance as well like on it. So yeah, Thing About You really is one of my favorite Tom Petty songs. And then we bring the pace down quite a bit with the next track, which is Insider. So this one is it's essentially, like a duet with Stevie Nicks, but it's not so much like Stop Dragging My Heart Around where they're kind of trading lines. This one's kind of sung like in harmony together, like throughout like the song. And so apparently how they kind of got together, like, and like started working together was Nicks had approached Petty, like to like write her like a song sort of thing. Like she was just about to like embark like on like a solo like career. So Petty wrote this initially, and they kind of recorded it together for this album. But Petty liked it so much that he was like he decided just to keep it for himself, that he was kind of like, I don't really want to give you this song. So eventually he then wrote Stop Dragging My Heart Around like for her, and that of course became like a massive single. But this song is, it's very different kind of song, it's obviously a lot more kind of subdued kind of ballad, but I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And I again love the lyrics on here, like it's a circle of deception, it's a hall of strangers, it's a cage without a key, you can feel the danger, and it's just about like this end like of like a relationship, like I'm the one you couldn't trust, I'm the lonely silent one, I'm the one left in the dust, he sings on it. So yeah, it's just a really beautiful song, like Insider, sung really well, and yeah, just a really lovely melodic song. Okay, and now the penultimate track on the album is The Criminal Kind. Now for me this is probably the weakest track like on the album. It's just not a very distinctive song, it's a kind of bluesy, kind of swampy track, but just isn't very standout. I think it reminds me a bit of their song Last Dance with Mary Jane, which was a much later kind of single. It came out about 10 years after this, but that's got a similar kind of guitar riff and kind of swagger like to it, and it's just a whole lot more like effective like as like a song. So yeah, Criminal Kind for me, you would get a 6 out of 10. And then the album finishes with a much softer, slower track called You Can Still Change Your Mind. So this one, it begins with a kind of strange kind of synthesizer thing going on like on it. I don't really need that. Like the last album, Damn the Torpedoes, was kind of plagued by these kind of little like kind of linking bits that just had nothing to do with like the rest of the album, and this one kind of falls into like the same camp as that, like for me. But once the song gets going, it's a really lovely tender piano ballad, this one here. Like again, you've got some great backing vocals from Stevie Nicks like on it, and like it's just a really nice track. I think chords are quite interesting. Mike Campbell's is nicely augmenting the track with some like sort of like delicate guitar work, and it's just quite a nice closer like to like the album, and like again is showing them expanding their sound, trying something different, like trying like a ballad here, and it just really works well. So yeah, You Can Still Change Your Mind will get an 8 out of 10. Okay, so overall, this album would score 86%. So I think this is an absolutely cracking album here. I think it builds really well on the momentum and the template that was set by Damn the Torpedoes. I like the production on here, like especially like Jimmy Iovine, like and Tom Petty were just a great match. Like so, like artists like and producers just really complemented like each other like really well. But then they're not just repeating Damn the Torpedoes on here either. Like I do quite like how they are advancing their sound with kind of softer tracks, stuff like Letting Me Go, Insider, and You Can Still Change Your Mind. And Petty's songwriting itself is also developing a bit and like becoming a bit more narrative based and kind of story songs, rather than more of the kind of like the boy girl heartbreak romance kind of songs like that made up like Damn the Torpedoes. I think the band are also like absolutely like on fire like on this album, giving great assured performances and really showing their musical variety, like balancing like their like ability to rock out like on stuff like Woman in Love, The Waiting, and Thinking About You, with like, as I said, like those more delicate moments. So overall, fantastic record here. I would definitely put this like in like the upper half like of like Tom Petty's albums. I'd probably say the only ones that I would probably rank higher would be Damn the Torpedoes, Wildflowers, and maybe Full Moon Fever like on like a good day as well. So it's definitely up there for me, this album. So fantastic stuff here from Tom Petty. So I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time for the next one. Goodbye.